So today we've gotten a lot of requests on how to tune your goose call. So I'm going to show you how to tune your goose call. The first and most important step, take a Sharpie. Because what happens when most people try to tune their goose call, they completely mess it up and then they can't get it back anywhere where it used to be. So they just try to tweak it a little bit to make it sound different, and then they completely ruin the call. So the first things first, what you want to do, here I used a beautiful pink Sharpie and it wasn't very sharp. So get yourself like a chisel tip Sharpie so that you can get it nice and exact. As you can see right here on the reed, it's not all the way touching the tone board here. So I now have to remember that's exactly where my goose call was tuned. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to push down and punch them through the bottom. You never want to twist up and out. I do it all the time, but I was told by Scott, do not do that because you will ruin your guts. And so I pushed them out and I have 3 items here. I have my tone board, I have my wedge, and I have my reed. Now the first thing you're going to do, take your reed in between your fingers and bend it. It has a natural bend. So you're going to go like this, and that side, it's bending in this way, you're going to put that up against your tone board. Just like that. Now, I'm going to take my finger, and this is just a reference of, or a guide for me, but I take my thumb and I push it onto the reed like this so that the tip of the reed goes inside of the tone board, and I hold it like that. Then I'm going to take my wedge, I'm going to stick it right underneath my thumb, just like that. And I'm kind of pushing down and in on the reed so that it hangs tight in that tone board. I'm going to take the insert of my call, I'm going to very carefully slide it on there, just like that. So now when I push in my reed, I don't hear it hitting the tone board. That's very important. Now this is going to take a lot of practice and finesse, but you're going to push in with your reed like I was before when I was holding it. I'm going to put my other thumb on top of the wedge right there, and I'm going to slowly push it in. So right about there, I can see that my wedge and my tone board are seated exactly where it was before. And now I can make tiny little adjustments by moving the reed up and down in the tone board, pulling it further away to give it more resistance on the call, so on and so forth. But as I showed you before, there was a gap on my reed where it met the wedge, and that's not the same. So to fix this, I'm going to push in with the reed again. I'm going to very slightly move down the wedge, just like that. So again, a lot of this is you just kind of finessing and feeling how tight your guts are and how loose they are. But that's essentially the quickest way. If your guts ever fall out, whatever, this is the quickest way to tune your goose call again. So I'm going to blow it real quick and see what it sounds like. So it sounds pretty good, but it's not to where I had it before. I bet you I haven't touched the tuning on this reflex in about 4 years, and it pained me to do this for you guys. So you better like and subscribe after I did this for you, because now I'm going to have to tinker with it for hours to get it back exactly where it was. But to me, that sounds a little bit high. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble my call again, and I'm going to just pull the entire thing out just a little bit. So now, the further in that you push your entire assembly, your tone board, your wedge, and your reed, as you push it down more in the call, what that does is it puts more pressure against your reed. And it makes it a lot easier to blow, and also makes it crack very hard. So it gives you a very clean sounding goose. So I always like to go in between clean and raspy, just for the way that I call. So because that sounded way too clean, I'm going to pull the assembly out just a little bit. The tiniest 16th of an inch or a 32nd of an inch makes such a difference when you are tuning your goose call. So again, I'm going to blow it and see what it sounds like. That is exactly where I want my call. Exactly. And it's all because I redrew fresh marks on my call that I knew exactly where I wanted that to be. So now I can continue to tinker with it and push it down just a little bit, but that's pretty damn good for exactly where I want it. But just remember, when you're tuning your call, the more reed that you have showing, the deeper and harder it is going to be to blow. The further down you have the entire assembly, it's going to be higher pitched, it's going to be a lot cleaner. That's pretty much what you need to know. So that is how you tune your Goose call in under 2 minutes, or whatever I just did that in, you know. But if you have any other questions or you want to see other videos, be sure to comment it down below, because we're doing a lot more this summer. Thanks for watching.